Hello, future entrepreneur. Welcome to our training on food manufacturing business mastery course for entrepreneur in the year 2022. Okay. Today we're going to be looking at day one of this training. And day one for this training, what we are going to focus on is knowing the various category of the food sector. So you have to understand the food sector before you can talk about starting any kind of um, business in the food manufacturing industry. Okay, is when you know about the food sector, then you cannot pick a category that you want to focus on as a food entrepreneur, because the food manufacturing industry is a very broad one. So in today I will be talking on knowing the various category of food sector. Like I said earlier, the food manufacturing industry is very lucrative, okay, as well as very vast. It's very lucrative. You can make a lot of profit. You can make a lot of money as a food entrepreneur. Even at that, the food industry is very vast because of the different sectors in the food industry. The food sector comprises of food in general. Okay, so the food sector is not something so big that you need so much to go and study so much about. The food sector, we just in general, it's about food. Okay, it's about food. So food, this food begin with dairy food. Okay, so if I talk about food, some of us might like, what kind of food is she talking about? Okay, so this food begins with dairy food. Example of dairy food, we have your milk, your butter, your yogurt, your cheese, and others. Okay, so that's one of the food in the food sector. Then you have vegetable like your lettuce, your spinach, your tomatoes, your cabbage. Those are vegetables. Some of us, we are familiar with vegetables because we use vegetables in our regular meal. We get them from the market. Some of us, they export vegetable. Okay, so we know vegetable very well. Then we have nuts and seed. Those are your granite, your almond seed, your cocoa seed. Those are nuts and seed. Then you have your non-dairy food. Your non-dairy food, example, you have cashew, you have eggs. Okay, those are example of non-dairy food. Then for fat and oil, I believe many of us, we are used to that. We use oil in the house. Okay, so a lot of us know that food examples. Then you have fruits, your orange, your apples. Those are food in that, those are food in the fruit sector, in the fruit in the food category, sorry. Then you have your meats, your fish, your seafood like your beef, your pork meat, your shrimps, catfish, and so on and so forth. Those are examples in the meat, fish, and seafood category areas. Then you have bread and cereals. Okay, a lot of us, we use bread in the house, so you don't need example for this. You have cereals like your rice, your maize, your oats. These are familiar things that we use at home. Those are food. You have your spice food, your chili pepper, your ginger, your garlic, turmeric. Those are examples of spice food. So there are list of large categories of food which I must have not mentioned some here. I just want us to understand when I talk about food, these are some of the category I'm trying to relate to you. Okay, so I believe we've understand what I meant by food. So this food we process in order to achieve a food product is or a food is called food sector. Let me come again. The food, when processed in order to achieve a food product or a food to be consumed, is called a food sector. So now let's look at examples of food sectors. Okay, examples of food sector, you have catering and baking. Okay, for catering, those are the people that you've gone to party. They are the ones that organize the food. Okay, in fast food, you've many of us have gone to fast food and hotels. They are the one in charge of that department of food. Okay, preparing food. Those are catering. So baking, back to wedding again. Many of us, we have gone to wedding. You see cake. Okay, apart from cake, you have chin chin, those your peanuts, all those are baking. Okay, so those are in the baking category. So for the food sector, you have catering and baking. I might not go into explanation of every of the food sector because of time. Okay, so you have agro processing. The agro processing industry in the food sector is very large and massive. Okay, because it's the transformation of agric products into a semi-finished food product or a finished product. Semi-finished products, an example of semi-finished product is your flour. If you take your flour for example, when you take your maize and you process it into flour, okay, that is a semi-finished product because the flour is used in the food sector industry, the baking industry, to make a finished food product where you can now eat it, consume it as food. So that's why I said this food, when processed into achieve a food product or a food, is what is called the food sector. I believe you are following me. Okay, so this agro food product, they what they do is they produce food, okay, from agric products. They produce food from agric products. Agric products are, or produce, they are the harvest that comes from a farmer. Okay, farm. They are the harvest that comes from a farmer's farm. Those are agri products, like your egg, your fish, your yam, your melon, and so many others. Okay, so I believe you are following. Okay, so this you the agro processing industry is very lucrative and massive one, and a lot of food entrepreneur, they venture into this agro processing industry. Then you have the food import and exports. In Nigeria, a lot of us, we are familiar with just exporting food products. There are so many products that are being imported into this country because our farmers here, or our land, the soil cannot produce those food in this country. Is not the soil cannot make those food farm products. Okay, so those farm products, they are being imported into Nigeria in order for us to be able to get access to those produce and use it for either agro processing or as a food. For example, your apple. Okay, your apple can be consumed as a food. People take apple fruit just like apple, while some people can go further in processing it into fruit juice. That's the agro processing industry. Okay, so that is for food importation. And food exportation, this is the packaging of our food products and distributing it to other countries, either our neighboring countries or a far country, to either Nigeria in diaspora, or it's being sent to industries, different businesses, to either sell or to use in the manufacturing of another product. Okay, there are a lot of countries that buy most of our produce, and they use it in making different produce abroad, like your cashew. They A lot of people import cashew from Nigeria, and they use it to produce different kind of product, like your cocoa. Again, a lot of country like US, so many big country, they import cocoa and they use it in the manufacturing of your coffee, the coffee you most people take over there. And also, we even import those cocoa after they are finished producing it, okay, back here as a finished product, and start selling it to consumers in the market. So for food business, okay, food business is a very big sector in the food industry. It covers from raw material, selling of raw material, that is the food himself, when it has not been processed, okay, or it has not been tempered with in its initial state, so selling it in the semi-finished state like the flour, to even selling it in the finished state. Okay, so food business is lucrative, is big. Okay, so if you are looking for a sector to venture into in the food industry, you can consider food business. Then food packaging, this is the selling of packaging material, okay, to agro processing entrepreneur or agro entrepreneur. Those people, they get this food packing material in order to preserve their food so that it can allow easy distribution and also retain the food for a longer time, to ease the stress of manufacturing that food every day. Okay, so food packaging is another sector in the food industry. Then we have food innovation. Okay, there's a lot of food innovation and technology going on now in Nigeria. Just like you have your cassava flour now, you have cassava flour is a hot selling product, and a lot of persons, they have not even started making it. And you have your high grade cassava garri now, which people are venturing into now. It's a very amazing product. And you also have indomie in the form of like this fish indomie that they make for diabetics patients. You have a lot of innovation and technology going on now. So the food innovation and technology industry is another big sector. For technology, you talk about yogurt pasteurization. They have a lot of equipment that is being used to make those process to make the yogurt comes out very fine and makes it to last. Okay, so for technology is massive. So when you talk about food innovation and technology is massive, we have a lot of products now that people take in, and it can help to fight some diseases in the body. It even help in assisting a disease patient to control some disease, even to even heal those disease, okay, without even going for surgery. So this is another massive sector in the food industry. Then you have food safety and so on. Food safety talked about like the NAFDAC, those are food safety bodies, okay. And you have the regulatory body. You also have people that do testing of your food products, okay, food analysts. They are the one that check the food components, the nutrition component, and also when the food is to last in the store shelf. Okay, so you have a lot of them in the food sector, in the food safety sector. And the food safety sector is very vast. It's something you can start up as an individual. You can start up your own food laboratory, okay, to do analysis for people. All you need to do is to get the equipment, do few one or two training, and you are good to go. You'll be helping people to check their food product if it's good for final consumer to consume, because this food safety industry, they are doing an amazing work. Without them, you find out that a lot of person will just consume a food product that can easily take their life. But with the food safety industry, they help you they help the food company to present their food to the consumer in a way that they put the allergic ingredients used in making of the food, so that if the final consumer know that is allergic to so ingredient that is used in manufacturing the food, he or she does not need or require to buy those food products. Okay, so that is for the food safety industry, and there are so many. I cannot cover all of them, but at least we have a glimpse to what the food sector is about now. We have an understanding. If someone talk about the food sector, you should be able to know that it does not just involve only agro processing or catering and baking. Is massive. It's has so many different categories under. Okay, so that's for the food safety sector. Now, what is not among the food sector? Farming is not under, is under the agricultural sector, so it's not among the food sector. Farming is not among the food sector. Again, food waste is not among the food sector. Food waste is among the is under simply under the energy and renewable sectors. Okay, And also compost is the use of food waste to make a more nutritious soil, okay, for conserving of the environment, those people that talk about going green and the rest. Okay, so that is for some few categories that are not among the food sector. So if you are to come across some like farming, for example, you should know that farming is not an example of the food sector. You should know what the food sector is and what the food sector is not about. So this is all for knowing the various category of food sector. So now I believe we are conversant with the food sector. So as a food entrepreneur, you can easily pick where you want to start your entrepreneurial journey in the food manufacturing industry. You can decide to start from being a food business entrepreneur, or you can decide to be an import and export food entrepreneur. Whatever suits you, whatever area you know you can do very well, all right, you can decide to venture into any of that. Please, if you have any question, kindly send a message to me. I'm going to open the group for messages. I believe you got value from this video. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow. Bye.